Well, have you ever heard of FourSight Collective? No? Well, the FourSight Collective is dedicated to helping students prepare for their future by empowering them through their specialized services that enhance professional development. Now joining us here on set to tell us more about the organization, we welcome now FourSight co-founder and Chief Marketing Officer, Vataj, and good to have you.
And thank you, Darren. It's good to be here.
Good to have you. Yes, sir. So as we're talking about empowering youth, obviously the youth are our future, and it's a great show. We've been talking about a lot of things that have been going wrong. It's good to talk about some things we can get going right.
Absolutely.
And talk about empowering youth, and you use FourSight, to be able to do that. Give us a little bit about that.
So we've broken it down into what we consider FourSight's 4 sights, and that is insight, oversight, hindsight, and foresight. Insight being that we look into ourselves and think about what our strengths are, what our weaknesses are, so we can work on those. Oversight being that we make sure we take advantage of the things, opportunities that we have now, and making sure that we're doing the best that we can. Hindsight being that we learn from our mistakes. And lastly, foresight, looking to the future and incorporating those 3 other sights, into making sure that our future is better and brighter.
And so for young people, talk about where you get your young people from and who your target group is.
So our target group is really the underprivileged in New York City. There's a lot of immigrants here. There are a lot of underprivileged individuals, some below poverty line, that are going to all kinds of high schools, and bright minds, very, very bright futures with the right tools. And so FourSight strives to be that tool. We try to help develop students' professional skills and empower them to achieve the futures that they might see for themselves or wish that they could achieve.
And so they go through these components: insight, oversight, hindsight, foresight.
Absolutely.
What's the takeaway that you want from your young people?
What we want them to gather is the idea of the collective. They have the opportunity to be something great. Everyone does, we all do. And so the idea of the collective is that each of us can accomplish something as individuals, but as a group, as a whole, we can accomplish a lot more.
And so you have a workshop called the Model Workshop.
Yep.
Give us about the Model Workshop.
So the Model Workshop is designed to introduce students to the college setting. We bring in students from local high schools and we set them with college students. We have round tables where we have about 2 college students at each, working with 6 to 8 students and giving them insight from what they've learned over the course of their college experiences and the struggles they had to go through in order to get where they are. We have speakers, which are generally college students or recently graduated college students, to share with them what they've experienced in the workforce and as students as a whole, so that these students know what to expect going forward and have resources to use.
And you talk about serving the underserved and those who are impoverished in our community. It's a statistic: about 55% of all children under the age of 18 in New York City actually live in poverty.
Yeah, so it's difficult to stomach those kind of numbers, and that's kind of what we at FourSight are trying to fight against. And we believe that the best way out of this poverty situation is through education, and so we try to empower these students to go achieve their higher education or achieve the jobs, internships, and so on that they are interested in and strive to be a part of.
So for young persons out there watching right now, parents out there saying, listen, I'd love for my young person to be involved, what do they do?
Absolutely. Actually, there are a couple channels you could check us out on. First, if you want to learn more about FourSight, go check us out at www.foursight, FOURSIGHT.org, or you could check out our Facebook page, FourSight Collective, and there we show some of our workshops, we show what we've done in the past, and explain what we do, how you can sign up with us and work with us in the future.
In developing young leaders, obviously a lot goes into developing these young leaders. What are some of the main components that I think young people need to know if they're going to be that leader that we're looking for in this day and time?
Yeah, that's, there's so many things that I could say, and honestly, the biggest thing is, in my personal opinion, being a first generation myself, both my parents were immigrants, so I had to work my way up, more or less, in the dark. But I was supported by a great family, and I was lucky in that regard. So I think the thing that I would suggest to all is not to give up. Always look forward, because there's always something better out there that you can strive for, and you never lose if you don't quit.
FourSight. Why don't you go to FourSightCollective.org. You can find out more information. Vataj is here with us. He is the co-founder and chief marketing officer at FourSight Collective. And so how long you guys been around?
Just under a year. So we'll be celebrating our anniversary in November.
What's it been like for you so far?
Honestly, it's been great. We've got a lot of feedback. Students love it. We've had some repeat students who are coming back to get more. We've worked in the professional development. We've worked in academic development so far, and we've seen some pretty good results, so we're looking to expand, hopefully.
So give us a little bit about academic development before we go.
Sure.
Share with us a little bit about the work you do.
What we do there is really similar to that. Certain high schools will be looking for particular workshops, fields, and so what we hope to create is mentor programs that these students can use working one-on-one with college students to help them get into universities, potentially help them in their field specifically, whatever they find themselves interested in. We did one workshop last fall on biofuels, for example, and so that helped some students realize that they were interested in engineering and helped them, move towards that field of study.
Well, Vataj has been with us, and he's here from FourSight Collective, and thank you so much for coming and sharing with us.
Thanks for having me.
If you're a young person that wants to find out more information, or you're a parent, you want to get your young person connected, FourSightCollective.org is the place where you go and find out more information. Take a quick break, but we'll have more show when we return right after this.